I don't know if this is good or not, but hey, I'm just gonna look here and give it a go. Delicious. Unsalted butter, pan, and I'm just covering the bottom for sure. Covering the bottom and just getting along the edges, getting into the nooks and crannies of this pan, and that's the buttering process of it. Show you my technique of that I learned recently, and some mistakes that maybe folks might make in the beginning. So put it in there. Easier if you shape it into the shape of your mold. So in my case, if I were to do this again, I would try to ball it in the shape of a rectangle. But what you see me doing here is I'm just pulling the corners and then pressing it towards the edges. And then from there, I spray some olive oil in my hand. I'm gonna do a flat motion from the center and push towards the edges. My goal here is to try to mold this to the shape of the pan as well as I can. Usually if your dough is colder, it will want to pull back. So I'm just pressing from the center to the edges. And yesterday when I par baked these, I did have, the middle did dome a bit. So I'm just gonna be a little more mindful of pressing it out better towards the edges. And I don't want it to do this too much. I'm not trying to break all the gluten structure that I worked, or the yeast worked to build up. But I do want a nice flat and leveled dough when I bake. Okay, perfect. This looks a little high, so I'm gonna press. Cool. One big mistake that I did before was actually pressing it down like a focaccia, and that just created a lot of unevenness when I was baking. So I recommend you don't do that. Just keep it flat and do what you have to do. I have about 12 more of these, as you can see, and I'll get to it and we'll get back to y'all later. Yo, what's up? It's been 4.5 hours since I've last seen y'all. And what's more important is that we're gonna check to see if our dough has risen and improved nicely. So as you can see here, you see it all bubbly, all fermenty, and taking the shape of the pan. And it's actually a really good shape. I don't see no cracks or crevices that are empty. So I'm not gonna press it out anymore. I'm actually gonna get ready to bake it, par bake it. So my oven is currently sitting at 500 degrees Fahrenheit on the convection bake option. And what is a par bake if you're not familiar with the term? A par bake is essentially baking the dough part way, par baking, because it's so important to ensure that this dough rises to a specific level you're looking for. If you bake your dough with toppings and sauce on it, you're adding weight to the top, which is going to inhibit the potential rise of your dough. So that's one of the main reasons you do the par bake. Number two, also, it's just more efficient if you're trying to pump out a good amount at a time. So I'm gonna go ahead and put 2 in the middle rack here. See if I can fit 3. 2 is good, not too deep, just enough. 2 on the top rack. And I have a timer set on the side for 10 minutes. So we're gonna go ahead and start that. So 500 degree Fahrenheit, 10 minutes for the par bake. We'll see how it looks. All right, the timer is up for the 520 at how many? 10 minutes. So we'll see how those look. Nice spring on it, as you can see. So I'm more curious about these bottoms. That one retracted a little bit. It's all good. Okay, so let's check out the 520. A little more browning on the top. And let's see what the 520s look like for the bottom. I'm excited to see it. See some browning on the side. I'm gonna go ahead and flip it. Okay, that's a better browning for sure. 520 Xavier is potentially what I'll go. That's without me having to adjust my recipe already. So we'll go ahead and flip those out, push those to the side. Okay, it's not too bad. It's a little better. It's a little better for sure. I'm also baking on 2 different levels, so the heat could be different. So yeah, whatever this one is, it's nice. This bottom or top, I actually don't know. So that's what I'm gonna pay attention to next. Which part of my oven gives me the better browning? Perfect. Okay. All right, let's get a close-up and a comparison of the 500 and the 520. One important thing is that the 520 is actually going to cut down the workflow time by 4 minutes already because of just the time I need to bake or par bake these. All right, height is still beautiful. Keep that reheated, and let's bring y'all in for a comparison. Yo, we got a couple doughs here, and what I actually did was test out a couple different temperatures and time to bake at. These ones to the left, these 4 are baked at around 500 degrees for 14 minutes. And it's a more pale bottom than I'd like it to be. I'm actually looking for something like this right here. It's a little hot right now, so I don't want to pick it up. Let me see. Hot enough. Well, I can hold it back. But as you can see, more consistent browning. These were actually baked at 520 Fahrenheit for 10 minutes. What now I need to figure out is, because these 2 were baked for 520 at 10 minutes, where it was sitting in my oven. I predict that this was in the middle because that's where it's hotter than my top. So I'm assuming this is the top, this is the bottom. We have 4 more doughs to bake and see where the hot spots are at. So overall, I'm really excited with the level of this. I don't know if y'all can see, but it's pretty good in height. All right, so what I'm gonna do is just gonna push the cheese to the edges because cheese will tend to pull towards the middle once it melts. So this is actually pretty good. 6 ounces, same here. I'm gonna push the cheese to the edge. It's also gonna create that nice little frico once the cheese melts into the small crevice you have. Okay, let's see. This one has a slightly bigger crevice. So I'm just gonna finish it off with a little more cheese, and that's because of the par bake. Perfect. So we have that. I'm gonna layer this with pepperoni. We've got some nice Izos here, and I'm gonna be pretty generous with this. I was testing yesterday, and I basically feel like that was a good amount of pepperoni. So I make a pizza how I want to eat the pizza. Right? So, making the pizza. We got a multiple ways to make this, but when I make a pizza, I want to make sure that if I were to receive this, I was like, oh yeah, that's the pizza I ordered. You know, that's the pizza I wanted to eat or have. I feel like it was worth my money. So we'll be a little generous with the pepperoni, or just not even generous, just making pepperonis how I like to, or making the pizza how I like to. But there you go. Get that nice shot in there. And we have this pizza, same thing. Today I'm just doing pepperoni only. It's a really limited batch. Just making sure that I can test things out on a lower stress situation and pretty much do well with it. So I feel like right now I'm dishing out the pepperonis a little slow. So let's find a different method. I'm also awkwardly standing over this damn table because I am trying to record a video for y'all. But let's see. There you go. And here. Nice. Put a little more right there. Cool. Now we'll do 10 minutes for this. 10-minute par bait. Beautiful. Oh yeah. Multiple POVs right now, but I just pulled this out and I let it chill for about at least a minute because you need the cheese crust to set. So now I'm just gonna try to release. And that's the beauty about these pans. They're so nice to release with. Let me pull this out. Put this to the side. Make sure I don't touch myself. And the last one. And then we'll get a close-up, if we can. I'm doing pizzas. Oh, look at that clean release. That is beautiful. Oh, man. Oh, okay. I'm just gonna lift to see the bottom. Okay, it's not bad. It's nice. It's beautiful. Then we're gonna get ready to box cut it. Sorry, watching soccer at the same time, so we got a lot going on. All right, time to cut this thing. It's hard when you're recording and doing everything. It's like solo content creating, watching soccer. Someone came early, but it's all good. Let's go ahead and shift this over. It is warm. It's not too warm, and I'm just gonna cut these into. Oh, see, I'm gonna cut these into 4s. So hopefully that was good enough. That's all right. Oh yeah. Beautiful. Oh yeah. Just topping off this last run. Pecorino. Got nice clobbering oregano. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is what I'm talking about. And some nice extra virgin olive oil with minced garlic. Not too much, just a dab. I want them to taste but not be consumed. All right, beautiful.